Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and I just wanted to do a quick bookshelf tour. I plan to rearrange my books here in the next couple of weeks. I'm just kind of finalizing what I want them to look like and those sorts of things. So right now, I believe it was at the beginning of the year or like around Christmas time that I separated my books between books I have read and books that still need to be read, and I don't like that system. I don't like having my series not be together, so I'm gonna go back to having all my books mixed together. I have an Excel sheet where I keep track of the books that I need to read and books that I've read, so that will work for me to kind of keep track of that. And I'm running out of room and then things are just mixed together. So I think when I reorganize my shelves, I'm going to kind of organize them by genre, which is what they were organized by sort of ish before. So yeah, without any more time for me, let's get into it. Well, I first want to start out with the books that I have read. I'm not going to do the typical pull each book cover out and tell you what they are, but I've got all of the Harry Potter books right here, as well as The Cursed Child. And then if we move over one cube, we've got the Harry Potter library, the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and then Skylar's set of Harry Potter up until the 6th book. We've got C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien on this shelf. My copy of the Narnia books is sitting behind Skylar's right now since we don't have enough space. This is kind of where things get a little mixed in. I've got 2 of the 4 Aragon books, Night Circus, Sabriel, and then Sun and Light, which is based in Washington. And then I've got more middle grade books right here. Move over one more, we've kind of got the dystopian section right here, and then whatever the Golden Compass is, I'm not entirely sure. And then moving over again, kind of a mix because this is what fits. We've got the published Game of Thrones books and then all of the Artemis Fowl books that I own. We've got some classics here, and these are just the classics that I've read, so and historical fiction too, because that's what fits. So I'm looking forward to separating this again. And then moving over, just another jumbled shelf of middle grade and classics and dystopian and those sorts of things. We've got the Twilight books and then the Goldfinch and the Nightingale. So just again, another super mixed shelf. And then the next one over, we've got collection of short stories, collection of Shakespeare plays, and then kind of the bigger books. So a Jack London collection, the Book of Virtues, and then I'm not entirely sure what this is. But these are books that I haven't actually read, but I've read bits and pieces of. I'm just counting them as read because I don't know when I'll get to them, but that's what works for right now. Now, moving down, we've got more contemporaries. Actually, I believe this whole book, or this whole section here is contemporaries. As you can see, I started running out of room, and I also have books piled up in the back there, if you can see, because I don't have room with the shelves as they are right now. All right, so the next shelf over, we've got a kind of mix of sci-fi and middle grade, and I don't know what the girl with the dragon tattoo is classified as, but this is what this shelf looks like. And then we kind of get back into a rhythm on the next shelf. I've got more of my retellings, but then we've got some middle grade Judy Blume over here. And as you can see, my box set of the Wicked series is missing 2 books because those are on my to be read shelf. Moving on over again, we've got my Divergent series, and then This is a book that I bought Skylar for Christmas. It's just a book about Nikola Tesla, and it's quite a dense book. It's got his research, lots of drawings and stuff in there. It's one of the leather-bound Barnes & Noble classic editions. These last 8 shelves are kind of books I haven't really read. This is just a mix of Christmas books and hiking books and self-care books. Yeah. And then we've got our kind of self-help books here. I think I've only read 3 of them. And then we kind of move into biographies, autobiographies, those sorts of things. And those spanned this shelf and this shelf. So these 2 shelves are the autobiography shelves. What I want to do, and I'll show you the space where I want to put it in, is kind of move these sorts of books along with the self-help books and like the hiking books, the DIY, miscellaneous, more miscellaneous that I'm not entirely sure what all those are, and then kind of our Bibles and things like that. We've got 2 shelves of that. Well, more like 3 because there's some back there. So I kind of want to move these 8 shelves into the corner. I want to get one of those corner shelves. I'll actually show you that space right now. Moving from a bookcase to behind the kitchen table. This space right here had a chair in it that is now in my office. So it's a good space that I want to put a corner bookshelf in so that I can put plants on top of it and just have lots of books there. So kind of move the ones that I haven't read that I'm not going to get to very often or very soon, and just kind of the miscellaneous books, move those off of my normal bookshelf and move those over here. I think that'll look a lot better. So then we move into my shelf of books that I still have to read. We've got the Snow Queen and Other Winter Tales. This is another bind-up collection from Barnes & Noble. I also have the Grimm's Fairy Tales Complete Works that is on my nightstand right now because I'm working on reading through it this year. And then we've got Andersen's Fairy Tales. We also have Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings, Shardik by Richard Adams, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, Mansfield Park and Emma by Jane Austen, Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, Within the Hollow Crown by Margaret Campbell Barnes, Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, Law of Dreams by Peter Burns, The Painted Girls by Kathy Marie Buchanan, Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, The Last of the Mohicans by Cooper, Dune, Destined for Dune, Shades of Dune, and Forever Dune by Corin Langdon. And then we've got The Paris Key by Juliet Blackwell. This is a book I was supposed to, well, I planned to read in February that I didn't get to. And then we have James and the Giant Peach, Matilda and the Witches by Roald Dahl, Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, Shannon and Ireland by Frank Delaney, Sarah's Key by Tatiana de Rosenay. We have David Copperfield, Bleak House, and Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, The Tea Rose by Jennifer Donnelly, The Three Musketeers and The Man in the Iron Mask by Alexander Dumas, and then the complete Outlander series, minus Outlander, because that's sitting on my coffee table right now, by Diana Gabaldon, Romancing Miss Bronte by Juliet Gale, The Coddingsley Secret by Hazel Gaynor, An Abundance of Catherines by John Green, The Power and the Glory by Graham Greene, The White Queen, The Lady of the Rivers, The Boleyn Inheritance, The Taming of the Queen, The Queen's Fool, The Virgin's Lover, The Other Queen, all by Philippa Gregory. We have My Lady Jane by Han Ashton and Meadows, and The German Woman by Paul Greiner. Moving down, we have The Magician's Trilogy by Lev Grossman, Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen, A Pair of Blue Eyes by Thomas Hardy, 172 Hours on the Moon by John Harstad, The Whiskey Sea by Anne Howard Creel, A High Wind in Jamaica by Richard Hughes, Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, and Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Next shelf over, we have The Portrait of a Lady by Henry James, The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson, The Metamorphosis and the Trial by Kafka, Fallen, Torment, and Passion by Lauren Kate, The Year of Living Dangerously by C.J. Coach, A Wind in the Door, A Swiftly Tilting Planet, Many Waters, An Acceptable Time by Madeleine L'Engle. And then we have The World of Time and The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. So moving down, we have Dunkirk by Joshua Levin, Mere Christianity, The Great Divorce, The Hideous Strength, Paralandra? I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that one, by C.S. Lewis, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, The Janssen Directive, The Sigma Protocol, The Amber Warning, The Bancroft Strategy, and The Janssen Command by Robert Ludlum. And then we have The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. I'm going to showcase this special book. This is Never to Return Again, a collection of unusual tales by my beautiful friend Christine Makepeace, and her husband Zach did the artwork on this, and I think it's stunning. And we have A Lion Among Men, Out of Oz, and Mirror Mirror by Gregory Maguire, Stalking Jack the Ripper and Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco, Atonement by Ian McEwan, Every Heart a Doorway, Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and Beneath the Sugar Sky by Seanan McGuire, The Paris Wife by Paul McLean, and Gentle Ben by Walt Morey. We have Liriel, Aborzen, and Clariel by Garth Nix, The Sandcastle Empire by Kayla Olson, Forged by Greed by Angela Orlowski-Peart, Brizinger by Christopher Paolini. This is just the dust jacket because I'm currently reading the physical copy right now. Brian's Winter, Brian's Return, and Dog Song by Gary Paulson. Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rash. Lost in the Horse Latitudes by H. Allen Smith. I Am Livia by Phyllis T. Smith, The Moon is Down by John Steinbeck, A Bend in the Road by Nicholas Sparks, Dracula by Bram Stoker, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Taylor, An Irish Country Courtship by Patrick Taylor, The Children of Huron by J.R.R. Tolkien, The Art of Wool by Sun Tzu, Trinity by Leon Uris, Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne, You're the Only One I Want, Nobody Does It Better, Nothing Can Keep Us Together, Only in Your Dreams, Would I Lie to You, and Don't You Forget About Me, all Gossip Girl books by Cicely von Ziegler. I think that's how you pronounce her name. The Golem and the Jinni by Helen Wecker, Innocent Traitor by Alison Weir, The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, The Book of Merlin by T.H. White, New World Rising by Jennifer Wilson, Irish Fairy and Folk Tales by Yeats, The Shack by Young, and I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zusak. So those are all the books that I currently have on my bookshelf. I do have a couple more laying around the house that I didn't want to pull together through this. Some are for a book haul and others are ones that I'm just currently reading right now. So that is it. I hope you enjoy, and when I do decide to rearrange this, I'll probably do kind of like a time-lapse photo and fast forward it. So I will talk to you later.